Hi, welcome. There are bad, stupid people everywhere in life doing dumb things. But recently, one has caught my attention, and that is toxic gatekeeping PC gamers. Now, I've been a mainly PC gamer for the past 12 to 13 years, and I'm pretty familiar with the community at this point. I spend more time than I should on the internet, but I guess I started to pay more attention when I started to see people doing it in my own videos, in my comments, to the point that then I started looking elsewhere to see if this was a common sentiment. And unfortunately, it is. I'm not saying everybody is like this. No, it's obviously a minority, but it makes me very angry and I want to talk about it. I've been covering Baldur's Gate 3, and although I've been seeing horrible takes on all of my comment sections across different platforms, I specifically made a video recommending newer players to please save often, because in a game like Baldur's Gate 3, you can find yourself having to repeat a long stretch of content with absolutely no difference and no benefit to doing it again, just because you forgot to save and ended up in a situation you weren't expecting. And a lot of people, vocally, outwardly, publicly, decided to say that that's terrible advice because people should learn, that people should waste their time because that's what they did when they were growing up, I guess, because nobody told them in 1999 that they should save. So I want to talk about this because it's the absolute worst mentality possible if you want the gaming space to grow and to get more games like the ones you enjoy. I'm assuming these hardcore games that don't have microtransactions, or don't have anything to do with games as a service, you know, good games. Here's the harsh reality that people need to wake up to. We have a limited amount of time in life, and I don't want to waste it. Most people don't want to waste it. So it's completely normal that if somebody finds themselves in a situation where, because of a mistake, they have to replay an hour and a half of a game, they might just drop it. They might just do something else. That's a lot of time. People's free time tends to be not a lot and very valuable to them. So they don't want to feel like it's being wasted. If that's not your case, that's awesome for you, okay? Just waste your time, that's fine. But that's not the case for most people. Accessibility and making video games easier to play for more people is good. It means that more video games sell, more money moves in the space, and especially if that money is directed towards companies like Larian, who are making these sorts of games that people seem to want, that's amazing, because then we get more of this. This gatekeeping mentality, which, you know, gatekeeping is just creating a funnel, right? It's like, well, if you do this, you don't like this. If you have ever done this, you're not a real gamer. If you have a problem with this, maybe this game isn't for you, which is some of the wildest takes I've seen. If because you made a mistake, you have to repeat an hour of content that is incredibly tedious, maybe the game isn't for you. Why would you ever say that? Like, why? The game is incredible, and it tells a fantastic story that I'm sure millions of people are going to love. I do not want anybody to miss out on that experience just because they got frustrated, which, again, completely understandable. But somehow people don't understand this. The wildest comment I got was some guy saying that losing your progress builds character and is a learning experience, to which I replied with a hypothetical on the internet. I know this is a very bad job by me. What if a person was playing, their dog was barking, they got distracted, so they didn't press F5 and they ended up in a bad situation? And this person had the gall to sarcastically say that we should just let people lower the difficulty of things, or even better, you should lock the dog in a shed so that it doesn't distract you anymore. Excuse me, what? Supposed to treat animals badly so that you can play your video game without distractions. What? I also wanted to address some people saying things like, well, there's games like Dark Souls where repeating large portions of the game is how you learn the game. Why? This is the same thing, right? This is a hardcore game. In Dark Souls, you have to learn the movesets of the enemies, learn how to adapt to what they are doing, and memorize the positions of the enemies in order to have a good run through an area. It tests your reflexes and your knowledge of your moveset, as well as your preparation. Baldur's Gate 3 is a turn-based RPG heavily reliant on RNG. How are you comparing these two things? If I have to do another run through a Dark Souls area, which again can be frustrating, it also has a large amount of satisfaction because I can see how much I've improved. And I'm tense throughout the entire run because I want to keep it perfect and reach the boss with as many resources as I can. And I'm proving to myself how much I've improved, or how much I have gone and grinded or leveled up or changed my equipment. in order to reach that goal. And all of that is engaging and different every single time I go through it, which means that as a core part of the gameplay loop, it's still very fun, even when it's frustrating, because it's an intended frustration that I can then overcome and feel good. In Baldur's Gate 3, I just have to click through a lot of cutscenes and redo a very frustrating battle where I am at the mercy of RNG to get through it in the same conditions that I did last time. Oh, but you learn to adapt and to use the things that you have at your disposal if the battle goes differently. Yeah, but I'm not here to do that. That wasn't my choice. I'm not gaining extra experience. I'm not getting any brownie points for doing it again. I was very happy continuing the story. And then I clicked the dialogue option thinking it would take me down this path, and I was mistaken, and it took me down a different path. I'm like, wait, that's not what I meant at all. And here I am. Not the same at all. Video games as a hobby are incredible, and we should try and get them out to as many people as possible and help other people enjoy them, because it's also good for us. It inspires new developers and brings in new consumers, and any of those new developers getting money from those new consumers could be the next person making your favorite game. Just because something before, through the limitations that it had, made you waste your time in the past does not mean that we should be doing that today. I don't think that Baldur's Gate 3 needs a better saving system, but I do think people should be aware in advance, especially if they're not well versed in this, to save often, to save very often, so that we avoid something that could make the experience worse for them. How is it so difficult for you to not attack people trying to help other people? That is the definition of gatekeeping right there. Because it means that you either don't value your own time, or you're so angry at the time you lost that you require other people to lose it so that they can enjoy something you enjoy, instead of just letting everybody enjoy things. Life is pretty hard. Life is a difficult thing to go through already. I think we should really try and help other people to enjoy as much as they can in this life during our time on the earth. Not that hard to understand, guys. So to anybody who is like that, please understand that you're only hurting yourself by gatekeeping. You're only making the experience worse for other people, which will in turn limit how many experiences you're able to enjoy in the future. So please stop being a troglodyte with an acorn for a brain and just try and have a good time and enjoy being alive. Play video games because they're awesome and fun. Play Baldur's Gate 3 because it's amazing. But just tell everybody that they should save and not worry about things and help people out. Stop being toxic. It's not that hard. If you want more Baldur's Gate 3 content and all of the upcoming games, remember to subscribe. Every subscriber also sends a clear message that we don't allow gatekeeping here. This is an inclusive community here to help absolutely everybody play everything, unless you're a toxic gatekeeper, in which case please stay out. Thank you. Bye.